What's up guys, it's Tess, and today I want to show you the ultimate hacky egg recipe. It is one of the coolest things I've seen done with eggs in a while, and it is all over social media, and it's the ultimate way to enjoy an omelet and a sandwich at the same time. And the good news is it is super simple to make. All you really need is fresh eggs. I have a little tomato right here, some bacon, a little parsley, you could do chives too if you want, and then I have some mozzarella. You could also do a cheddar or any other cheese you like, and then some salt and pepper here, and then really good bread. And when it comes to bread for this omelet, I actually have a preference that works really well, and that is the Pepperidge Farmhouse Hearty white bread. It is perfect for this recipe. The slices are nice and thick, they're really soft, and they hold up really well in this bread omelet, so I highly recommend this. What I also like about it is that it's made with quality ingredients, and it has that fresh from the oven flavor, so it's really perfect. And of course, if you can't find the Hearty white, they have a whole line of other Farmhouse breads. They have a butter bread, which is really rich and delicious, and then they have a honey white if you like something a little bit sweeter. But the whole Farmhouse line actually has a lot of perfect Hearty breads and buns and rolls for the ultimate sandwiches as well as burgers. So check it out if you haven't yet. I highly recommend. So to start off with, as I said, you're gonna take some fresh eggs. For this particular recipe, I'm gonna use 3 because I think it's a perfect balance of egg to bread. So crack in 3 little eggs. All right, and 1 more. Perfect. Oh, there's a little baby yolk. And then you're gonna take a little bit of salt and pepper. Got some pepper here and a little salt. And for the salt, don't skimp, because if you're using mozzarella, there isn't a whole lot of saltiness in that either. So you just really wanna make sure that you get enough salt to bring out the flavors of everything else. Of course, I do have bacon in mine, so there's some saltiness from that too, but there's nothing worse than a bland omelet, so add some salt. Take your whisk and break up your yolks. I kind of like it when I see a little bit of the white coming through, when it's not too broken up and even. I think it makes a more tender omelet, but it's your call. Everybody likes their eggs differently. But that right there works for me. Okay, so next up you're gonna add your fillings or your toppings. As I mentioned today, I'm gonna work with some tomatoes, a little bit of bacon, and some parsley. When you're making a bread omelet, don't overdo it on the toppings, because it's gonna be really hard to flip it, which you'll see what I mean when I do it, but it's gonna be really hard to flip the bread and the egg and lots of toppings. So just keep it kind of sparse, but enough so that you can taste it, right? So we're gonna do some tomatoes. These are beautifully ripe. Nice pop of red. We're gonna do some parsley, because I like a little green in there. You could add any herb of choice. You could do chives as well, get a little oniony flavor in there. All right, and then a little bacon. Of course, if you don't eat meat, don't add the bacon, but I love a little bacon. And you wanna make sure you crisp this up before you add it to your egg mixture. You don't wanna put the raw bacon in there, because it's not gonna cook long enough in the pan. A little bit more, because I like it. So I have all my ingredients here mixed in. The one thing you're not gonna mix in right now is your cheese, because we'll save that for later. Perfect. Now, the reason you wanna make sure that you mix everything here in the bowl first and not just add the toppings to the pan is because you want all the little pieces coated in egg, so that when you go to flip it, everything sticks together. And also, when your bread hits this surface, it's gonna adhere to everything as opposed to not adhering to those little pieces that don't have egg on them. All right, so you're gonna put your pan on a low heat to start with. And I have about a tablespoon of butter in my pan already that's started to melt. So keep it low, and we'll raise the temperature a little bit later. Great. All right, at this point, even though your pan isn't super warm yet, you're gonna add your egg, because you need to buy a little time to add the bread before the eggs really start cooking. So add your egg in. And then do yourself a favor and sort of spread out your toppings a little bit so that they're evenly distributed and not all centered in the middle. Perfect. And then you want to take 2 slices of your Farmhouse Hearty White. Here you can see it's really thick cut. It's perfectly soft, and I think it's gonna be delicious in this recipe. Actually, I know it is because I've had it. The thickness of the bread really helps kind of create a stable sandwich. It makes it easier to flip. You're going to, first of all, drop your slice into the egg mixture. Give it a little pat so it soaks up some of it, and then you're gonna flip it and lay it right in there, like that. Take your second slice, do the same, and you give it a little bit of a dip, and then, again, just flip it. This way, when you go to flip your bread omelet later on, you're gonna have a little bit of egg on the outside, and then that's gonna get a nice golden, slightly caramelized outside of your sandwich when you go to flip it, and it's gonna make it the perfect texture right afterwards. And then you see all these little bits of toppings here, you're just gonna kind of scoot them off so that you don't have any toppings on the outside. You want them all on the inside bread. There we go. All right, so now you can afford to slightly raise the temperature, but not too much. I like to cook my eggs pretty low and slow. That way you don't overcook them and they stay nice and tender. What you're looking for here is you're looking for the whites and the yolks to go completely opaque. That way you'll know they're cooked. You'll also start to smell that they're cooked. All right, so this is gonna be the moment of truth. This is the hard part. You're gonna take your spatula. I recommend something on the larger side so you can really get some nice surface area underneath your bread slices. And you're gonna get under there and you're gonna flip the whole thing in one. Here we go. Perfect. Look at that. That bread is toasting nicely on the bottom of the pan with the leftover butter and that egg coating on the outside. This now is where you're gonna add your cheese. So again, I have mozzarella here. I'm gonna take a little bit of that mozzarella and just put it on one side. I can see the outline of the bread here, so that's kind of my guide. I'm gonna put that there. You can go as heavy or as light on the cheese as you like. Just like a nice even layer. And then you're gonna fold it up like a little envelope, and then you're gonna flip it into a sandwich. So first get on the edges here. You'll see there's a little overhang, and you're just gonna kind of maneuver it into the middle, right? Create an edge over here. This is the edge of your sandwich. And then you're gonna do the same over here. You just kind of flip it. Here you can see the cheese is starting to melt slightly from the heat, and it's really gonna melt when I flip this other side of the bread over. So get in underneath your bottom slice, and then just flip it like you would a sandwich. Look at that. How perfect is this? You've got some nice golden bread. It got nice and toasty from the pan. Oh, and buttery. You've got your egg perfectly enveloped inside. And this is your bread omelet. Look at this. It's golden on the outside. That bread held up really, really nicely. You have a perfect omelet in the middle. And I mean, this is lunch. This is lunch, this is brunch, breakfast. It's a midnight snack. It is delicious, and I'm gonna give it a try. All right, look at that. Steaming hot. Everything is perfectly cooked. I'm gonna burn my mouth, but it's gonna be worth it. That is freaking delicious. Oh my God. That is potentially one of the most delicious sandwiches I've ever had. I'm not kidding. And the bread is delicious. It's still soft on the inside. It has a little bit of crispness on the outside, but that is so good and so easy to put together. Guys, please check out this recipe. It is super simple and really easy. And you know what? If you have the perfect bread to go with it, it doesn't get any better than that. Thank you so much. Enjoy your bread omelet, and I will see you next time. Bye.